Week 1, cash and stacks coming at you. There is football. Thank the Lord above.
I'm watching it right now. It's actually on this very second. I mean, I'm paying attention 100% to you, and at the same time, I'm paying 100 to football. It's one of those miraculous things that can only be described as a football miracle.
This is what you're supposed to do with this show. Throw us on, turn down the volume, get your picks, get your updates.
Get your waiver wires.
We'll be doing, get the waiver wires, transaction trends. This is what we're going to do Monday nights.
Yeah, we're going to help you recap and pick up the pieces if you've, had a down week. If you're ready to roll and you crush this week, we're just going to add a few weapons to your arsenal, get you into that championship round. So stick with us. It's going to be a new format. We've moved on from the draft. Now we're going to be talking NFL news. We're going to be talking waiver wires. We got 3 tweets coming. We got a brand new segment that I'm going to tease that's been the talk of the NFL so far, and that is New England Baywatch. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up soon.
It was a fun New England Baywatch this week. Man, how happy are you? There's fantasy football going on right now. Football is happening. I mean, Sunday when I turned on the red zone, I was in the middle of helping my dad with the project. It was like 5 minutes to the red zone starting. It's like, gotta go. Gotta go watch red zone. I sit down, Scott Hansen starts talking, and I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, this is so awesome.
I love that man. He's my favorite Hansen, and I'd much rather have him in my living room welcoming me than the other Hansen guy who comes in your kitchen. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks at all. Yeah.
Which Hansen is that?
I think his name is Chris Hansen, and I think it's I don't know if it was NBC News or ABC News, but it was one of those To Catch a Predator guys, and that wasn't down. Not my Hansen. That's all I can say. My Hansen is Scott, and he's strong to quite strong. So
he was strong and quite strong. Good jaw on that guy.
Yeah, really
good
jaw, strong.
Good hair. Just get you excited.
I love Scott Hansen. I'm not gonna lie. I've been tweeting at him and about him and to him the last couple days, just hoping, grasping at a retweet, any acknowledgement that I will be with him all Sunday, all year. I'll be with him more than my wife and my children on Sunday. And I just wanted to let him know I was praying to him that day. So,
man, yeah, it really was. I'm already up 50 because I bet somebody the season would start on time. But
nice.
It's interesting because, part of what we're going to talk about tonight is the waiver wire, and I would attack this season differently than I normally would. I always say go heavy in the first few weeks on the waiver wire. But because of COVID, I'm adjusting that strategy. But they've had 44,000 tests, something like that, and 1 positive, So they're managing, I think the success of the NFL is actually going to translate into Big Ten, Pac-12 football coming back. Like
it could.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing about it too that I'm surprised we got here, and that speaking of Scott Hansen, he mentioned that too in his intro yesterday. Just like, I can't believe we're here. We're finally here. Oh my gosh, it's been a long, terrible, 8 months, but we're just so glad we're here together. And I agree. The cool thing about football, fantasy particularly, is that it can bring folks together around something that is, not that it's not a hot issue, but something that is pretty cut and dry. You win, and it's fun. You get to watch it every Sunday. There's a finality. You're in it to win it. And if you don't, there's no vagueness. And it's just so much fun to bring that kind of fun contest into community and build relationships through fantasy. So, for me, I was excited because I got to be around everybody else I cared about on Twitter and enjoy something I knew every single one of the people I loved was enjoying. Sans my family. Oh, we got a lot of hate from the family. By the way, did you catch any hate yesterday from anybody, or were you just left alone to live your life?
I caught some hate. My dad lives with us, and he came up and he tried to he tried to hit me with like, "You're missing out on your children growing up." I said, "Well," I said, "Get out of here,
That's
get lost, pops."
get out of here. My children are growing up watching football with me. That's what they're doing. They're right here.
This is a football house on Sundays, and my 3.5-year-old and me played our first real game of catch after we watched football all day. So it's working.
That's beautiful, man. I'm crying back here. That my family starts off really happy and good with football, and they say stuff like, "You gonna watch football today? Oh yay, we'll come and be with you." And I'm like, "Awesome, awesome, great." And then as I sit there, in the same kind of spot for most of the day, I just as the day goes on, I just hear stuff like, "Are you still here? Oh my gosh, are you still here? Have you moved? Look, he's still here, everyone. Are you gonna do this all day? Is this all you're doing? I can't believe you're doing this." And then my response is, I've been talking about this for 8 months. I've been telling you all about this day. I've been excited for this day. It has been on my mind for a long time, and all I'm getting is the grief. I was told that it was poop, it was crap, it was garbage. If you didn't know, I live with exclusively ladies. I don't have any other men at home. The gerbils I live with are ladies. So, you know what? I'm just taking it as it comes, grateful for each snap. You know how they say, like, take each day by day? I take it snap by snap, man. I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful to be with you tonight. I'm grateful to be watching football as we speak right now. It is a great, great time. We call it Christmas. It's like football Christmas. If you don't celebrate, I'm sorry, football Hanukkah, football Kwanzaa, football New Year. It's football, man, and I am just excited.
Yeah, I would say when Scott Hansen was introing the show was one of my favorite moments of 2020. With everything that's happened, it was just like, come on, man, we need this. This is so great. I mean, it's just good. So yeah, man, good to be here tonight. Good to be with anybody who's watching live and all the people tuning in tomorrow. Yeah, that's why we're doing it Monday, so we can talk about what happened over the weekend and give you guys our thoughts, our impressions. We can talk about. We have a segment that Jesse coined
Or
called
Scott.
Elevate.
Or Scott.
Scott, my bad, Scott. Elevate, mitigate, or eviscerate. That's what we're thinking about different players on our team. So, man, what popped to you this weekend? Who do you want to elevate or eviscerate?
Oh man, there's a few different people I think you got to elevate. Just off the break, Naheem Hines is somebody who I have in redraft. I drafted Jonathan Taylor. I also drafted Naheem Hines in the 14th round, just as a little backup policy. The news broke today. If you're not paying attention, Marlon Mack Achilles. Oh, that's not good. That is a problem. So that backfield becomes a share. I heard that they're looking at Lamar Miller, maybe bringing him in. He's helped with him. I'm not scared of anybody coming in. That backfield is going to be JT's and then Naheem Hines. Both of them. They're going to get it. If Naheem Hines is on your waiver wire, whoo, man, I'm pushing at least maybe 40 to 60% of my stack, depending on kind of what my fab situation looks like. And he's the only guy I think I'm going balls to the walls for this week, where if you had Marlon Mack, or if you had a share in that offense and you're expecting, or maybe if you're just ready to pounce, if you can get him, he's going to be a PPR monster. I thought Frank Reich was just joking around when he said he was going to throw him the ball 14, 15 times a game. That was coach speak. We all laughed it up on Twitter. And then he just targeted him up. He just threw him targets all game long. So, that's the guy. I think that is the man right now. If you're listening and Abdi, he's the guy. But do what you got to do to get him if you're in a position to win. But if you're not going to go for him, we have some other guys that we're going to talk about that might be somebody that you want to go for. He's definitely being elevated on my bench. He was on my bench last week. He's being elevated to my flex position for sure.
Yeah, so you're putting him in your lineup. If you have a first come, first serve, would you drop Tariq Cohen for 90 Hines?
Yes. But particularly because Matt Nagy and his offense is not consistent. And last year, Tariq Cohen's his catch yards per catch were under 7 or 7 and 7.9. It was not good. Actually, I think last year was 5 something, coming from 7.9. So he's just not very good right now in that offense. They know when it's coming to him. I'm not a big fan of Matt Nagy. I'm not a big fan of that offense. So I think yes, I would right now. I would.
So I had the opportunity in a first come first serve league, and I had Drew Cohen, and I kept thinking about it because I also have David Montgomery, so he's kind of like my safety valve for Montgomery, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And by the time I thought about it, somebody came in and scooped him. I was like, no.
Oh, the hesitation, the last second.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to know. Yeah. So if you have a free agent auction budget, you would go 40 to 60% of your entire budget.
Yeah, and I think it depends on your position. That's why if you don't need to, you could be one of those guys who mucks it up and throws a $47 bid in there. You know what I mean? Just see if you get them. You know what I mean?
I think, for me, every year, in the first 2 weeks, you find out who, there's usually a couple players that for whatever reason didn't get drafted. He's a perfect example, and he's the person I would by far go hardest in the paint for of all the people that we're going to talk about tonight is Naeem Hine. I like that. I like 40 to 60%. That's strong though. I mean, in the year of our Lord COVID, it's scary, but if there's anybody right now that you should do it with, I think it's him.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know what your waiver wire looks like. We do share a waiver wire, so I do know what your waiver wire looks like. But I will say that as I think Juju just caught his second touchdown, goodness gracious. Can't that number be 18 instead of 19? Jeez Louise. Anyway, we'll talk about swings and misses at the end of the show. Right after 3 tweets. Make sure you're paying attention to that part. Anywho, I think that looking at our waiver wire, most of the players are gone. You don't have a lot of heavy hitters on the waiver wire right now, so that's why for us we're going to talk about a few guys that you can pick up, but we really want to talk about how you're going to manage your team. So it's not just the waiver wire. How are you going to look at the players on your roster and go, are they for real? So for example, so far. We look at some guys and we go, Cam Akers, is he for real? Can you start him next week? Are you starting Cam Akers? Are you, I don't know. Are you?
Malcolm Brown is my second biggest pickup.
Yeah.
If he's available in your league, I think Malcolm Brown is the guy to get too. I wouldn't go as hard in the paint because of that crowded backfield.
Right.
And I'm sure Cam Akers is going to continue to, figure out how to play in the NFL, but man, he did not look as good as Malcolm Brown.
No.
Last night. Malcolm Brown looked good too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Well, Malcolm Brown, he was an NFL rusher last year and the year before too. He played in the NFL, so there's just that experience with Cam Akers. He's a talented back, But we saw some rookie running backs fall flat yesterday, including our boy DeAndre Swift, who we like, who we think he has a lot of potential to kind of get some touches at the end of this season and kind of take over that job. Well, he dropped a game-winning touchdown in the end zone. Just total Detroit Lions move. And so, life is like that.
Yeah. Yeah. DeAndre Swift is somebody that, based on how he was featured, I had him on my bench. I'm putting him back in the starting lineup. So I'm elevating DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I think as a flex position, there's just always going to be that upside. I think Adrian Peterson is another guy on the wire that people could go after, and it was pretty obvious the person that's getting phased out is Kerryon Johnson in that offense. They want to use DeAndre Swift. So,
yeah. You mean Mr. Leg Brace himself, Leg Brace Johnson? Are they calling him that now?
Adrian Peterson balled out.
Yeah.
He balled out. I mean, that was a great game. Um, he, I mean, I was really impressed that he was able to step in and just. He's had a history with the offensive coordinator, so that was another reason why they wanted him. So I guess it's not that surprising, but still, just to go in and rush for 93 yards is pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
I think he's another person to target.
I agree, and I was kind of scooping him, trying to be sneaky, thinking about watching him, when he was on the Washington football team, just dropping drafts to being undraftable. And I thought this guy still has a little bit of juice left, so I picked him up here and there. Nothing special. When he got dropped, it wasn't a big deal, but he rushed, and they talked about it during the broadcast. He rushed like a man possessed, and to tackle him is to get hit. You are absorbing a punishment to even engage in a tackle with him, and that's what kind of stood out from that game was he was bringing it to the defenders the whole game, and he looked quick. I don't know, something about the pants, something about the turf, got new shoes. I mean, that dude just looked like he was 25, 26 years old. Yeah, I like both of those. I would definitely pick up AP. He might be a sneaky get. You can maybe get him for maybe under $8, maybe $6, $7. If you're doing the $100. So if you're doing $200 fab, maybe $10, $12, you could get them. But that's just me. I like both of those guys. Any other guys that you're thinking about after you watch this weekend who you're either kind of downgrading, either off your team, eviscerating, dropping, no longer going to be employed on the Mike Collins Express? What are you thinking?
Um, you know who I'm stuck on is what do I do with Sammy Watkins? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's still got to do another week or two of what he did on Thursday, but he looked really good. Would you trade Mecole Hardman for Sammy Watkins straight up?
Yes. And
Like,
here's the thing. As I was watching the game, I was watching the game and going, "Wow, it's 2019. Great. When's 2020 going to come?" And
mm,
I'm not convinced right now that it's going to be coming anytime soon for Mecole Hardman. And the reason it's not on the field, he doesn't have a snap share that you want. You want the guy who's on the field, and he's not. He's not in two wide receiver sets. He's only in three or four wide receiver sets. When they go the 11 personnel, the 10 personnel. That's the only time he kind of sees the field. And you need a guy on the field more than that. That's what you need right now. And so if there's an injury, somebody said it on Twitter best, not me. I'm not quoting this, but they said he is best wide receiver handcuff in the game, for Mecole, or for Tyreek Hill. But he's not standalone value right now. I still think he has upside for DFS. I'm going to put him on my bench. I'm not going to cut him. But I think he's somebody you got to put down on your kind of watch list for his value. It's going to fluctuate this year, and that offense is going to fluctuate because they're going to take them. They gave them Sammy Watkins. That's what they did. They said, throw it to Sammy Watkins, and he said, okay, I will. And then he
they
did. So I mean,
they really did look like they had Sammy Watkins plays in their playbook. Like that touchdown that he caught, that was a Sammy Watkins play.
yep.
They had plays specifically designed for his skill set, and I don't know, man. Would you start him? Would you elevate him?
People always like to say that, he's got the 1 week worth of work in him, and then you get rid of him. He's that first week player. It's kind of cliche. Honestly, I say that you play him until he shows you he's not going to do that. If you're designing gold wide receiver plays for someone, I mean, that's a good sign. I like that. That portends, I think, to good upside in the offense. Now, can you rely on him as your wide receiver too? No. He's a flex. He's always going to be the flex. Well, I know the fancy footballers call him the Lizard King. We'll call him the Flex King this year. He can just be the flex. So yeah, I would play him. I would keep him. I'd put him in the elevation category of elevate.
Mitigate or eviscerate?
Mitigate or eviscerate. Yeah.
I'm getting convinced. I think I might potentially elevate Sammy Watkins, especially since I have a team with Michael Thomas. And is he getting mitigated?
Ooh.
What is going on with Michael Thomas? The word on the street is he has a high ankle sprain.
That's a dreaded word on the street. I have him as well, and I'm quaking in my walking boot, honestly.
Oh man. on such a just a stupid play too.
It's a stupid part in the game when a
Yeah,
normal good coach has the best players in the game not on the field. They're not running trick gadget plays with Taysom Hill. What do you have to prove, Sean Payton? What do you have to prove? I'm going to do a Chad Dukes rant right now. What do you have to prove? What's wrong with you? Get your players off the field.
that devalues Drew Brees too. You know, if you have Drew Brees as your quarterback,
Jeez Louise. Yeah.
so the word on the street on Michael Thomas, he is going to play through it,
Of course.
but it's it's not a good injury, and I don't know the severity of it. If he's saying that he can play through it, then potentially it's you have to be able to run. So it might not be bad. It didn't look that bad. So, but yeah, I he might get mitigated. I don't know. Another player that I had elevated that I want to mitigate now is Antonio Gibson. I don't I don't understand why they love Peyton Barber, especially since Antonio Gibson's so much bigger. But just him he's really basically new at the position too. So he's not really a running back. I mean, he's like Juju Smith-Schuster size.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna have some big games, but I'm gonna, hopefully you didn't draft 32. I think I'm in a situation in one league where I have him and David Montgomery. So I'm gonna pine that guy. He's gonna have to ride it for a little bit before I trust him again.
Mitigated.
Who do you want to eviscerate? Who do you just want to throw into the waiver wire dump heap?
Well, and maybe it's just me and my own team personally, but I do kind of want to eviscerate Brian Edwards right now, and I didn't start him anywhere, but if Ruggs goes down with that knee injury and he's out for a long time, you think, okay, maybe Brian Edwards gets more targets during that quarter or whatever he was out. He didn't sniff it. It wasn't anything for him. So, if you're not getting targeted when Ruggs isn't in the game, when are you going to get targeted? Like that, you're not going to get targeted when Ruggs and Waller and Renfro are in the game as much. So, I'm not in it. Maybe Brian Edwards. I'm sure he catches more passes. I'm sure he has a breakout game this year. I'm just right now he's not somebody that is equivalent to Ruggs. It was I was touting him as somebody you kind of sneak and maybe get some value on. I'm not buying in really right now in that offense. There's a lot of rushes to be had. If he was a running back named Josh Jacobs, they're a little bit more prone to that old take I had. But I'm out. I'm out on
Josh Jacobs in our league of record had 38 points, 3 touchdowns, 93 rushing yards, 46 receiving yards. Whoo!
Jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah. I missed on him. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know what to say. He was there. He was there.
I didn't miss on him, but I tell you who I sort of missed on was CEH. He looks so of all the rookies that we saw, CEH was by far the best.
Yes.
Who do you think? Who do you think was second? Who are you most hopeful about? Out of all these?
I'm not giving up on our guy Ruggs. He flashed before he got hurt. I mean that catch and run. He was extending that ball to the pylon for a touchdown. He looked good. He looked fast. I don't think he's going to get enough volume. I think that the real guy right now to look at Jonathan Taylor and the Colts offense. Marlon Mack, going down really kind of elevates him just by volume and necessity. So I think he is somebody who's poised to kind of break out as well. If you follow Nimble W numbers, you should. And if you don't, I mean, what are you doing? But if you don't, I also do some prop betting, and one of my prop bets was Jonathan Taylor over the 700 yards this year with Marlon Mack out. Unless Jonathan Taylor does sustain an injury, that looks like to me a slam dunk of an opportunity for him. He probably projects now into getting, maybe 1,100, 10, maybe 1,000 yards rushing, maybe 1,300 total yards possibly. Maybe that's overextending him, but he's going to get a lot of volume, and Nyheim Hines is going to kind of be there to be the scat back and the third down back, and he'll be on the field a bunch as well. So I think he kind of stands out to me as the kind of most second valuable rookie, not because he played so well, but just kind of he did play okay. He still scored 13 and a half fantasy points, so not terrible. Didn't get a touchdown, but maybe this week he does get a touchdown. Nyheim Hines got 2, so.
Yeah. I think Jonathan Taylor's value, it just skyrocketed. So, props to all the people who drafted him. And it's like literally you couldn't have drew it up any better. Marlon Mack gets injured in the first game, and now you have Jonathan Taylor as potentially an RB2.
Right.
And he should finish, around the top 12. So,
well,
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I wish I didn't. I don't think I got any shares of him. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I'm excited for Ruggs. I do think, he was quiet in the second half of that game, and it was all. I think it was just he was more operating as a decoy. So we'll have to see how bad. I've heard it was a knee. I've heard it was an ankle. But either way, he's going to be back on the field next week. So I drafted him in every league but the Crab Cake Invitational. So I was.
Oh wait. Who scooped him in the crab cake? Any
horrible sniping partner.
I know that guy.
Stacks.
He's a good-looking guy. Let me just be honest with you. He's dead sexy. For an international ex-male plus-size calf model, he gets the job done. That's all I gotta say.
Stacks and his big calves decided to snipe me.
My guy Darius Slayton just caught a touch, and if you checked out the rankings on our site, Nimble W Numbers. Wrong site. I've been in my own site for a while. Sorry, thefantasymillionaires.com. Double sites. We're brother sites, though. We love each other. We're kin. You'll find that my guy Darius Slayton is definitely ranked as the top wide receiver in that Giants offense. The TD doesn't validate me completely, but I'm pleased. It's step in the right direction. You want your guys to do well. You want your boys to finish fast, strong, and hard. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you somebody that I don't know why I'm not going to eviscerate yet, but boy.
Close? Close?
Well, I should. Yeah. I should eviscerate this guy. His name's Matt Breida.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh, my gosh. What is going on in that offense? Just based on that offense, and the way that they used Myles Gaskin, who's Myles Gaskin?
I don't know. He's Patrick Laird's teammate.
Yeah, Patrick Laird's teammate. That's right. Yeah, 7th round draft pick, Myles Gaskin, was the prince of the backfield on Sunday. I have not made up my mind whether I just want to cut ties. Part of me is holding out hope that when Tua comes in and takes over that offense, which I think will be in the next week or two, he will get value again. But if you have an opportunity to get Nyheim Hines and you have Matt Breida, eviscerate.
Yeah, eviscerate. Give him the French Revolution treatment. Just give him the guillotine. On your team, cut him. Yeah, I agree. And I talk about a few misses of mine, and I'll talk about a few hits that might be worth either mitigating or eviscerating. It all depends. I don't know. What you're gonna say. But I'm not a tout. I'm not Tom, but I did draft Tom in a league or two. Here and there. Tom looks like he's over the hill Tom. Like, some of those passes on the sidelines to run into are about my height were like 17 feet in the air, and it was like he was having trouble gripping the ball. It was almost like the ball's inflated too much. That's all I have to say,
Yeah.
and with that, we're going to segue into New England Baywatch, which we can come in and out of whenever we want, just like the show. I'll be ready anytime we need to get into this, and we can come in and out of it. So, but
Yeah, New England Baywatch.
First episode New England Baywatch was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Loved it.
If I could draw up a script for the season, I would like to have the Patriots and the Bucks in the Super Bowl. I mean, wouldn't that be bomb? But yeah, when we talked about Tom Brady, the thing I saw was the thing I was worried about. His 43-year-old eyes looked not well. I mean, he just didn't. He didn't seem like he could. He was missing, corners. Like he was not paying it. He just. I'm telling you, there's nothing. I don't care how many vegetables that guy eats. What brand of HGH he's doing, Father Time is undefeated, and there's stuff that happens to your body, every decade or so, and when you get into your 40s, your eyesight is not going to be as good as it was at 35. Your eye, that's a fact. Your eye, and I don't really know, as a quarterback, what you can do about that, because it's just you're not going to be able. Your visual acute is not going to be quite, the same as it was, even 3-4 years ago. So,
what about the LASIK? What about has Turbo Tom already gone under the LASIK knife?
I'm not talking about someone who has 20/40 vision or anything like that. I'm sure he has perfect 20/20 vision and all of that. I'm just talking about
his field vision, how he sees the field.
Your ability to pick up the speed on which you pick up movement.
Yeah.
So, there's a study that was done where they microdose shrooms with people, and their ability to pick up object speed actually went up. So this is something that, maybe Tom might want to look into, is microdosing shrooms, because I think he might. I don't think that was just a flash in the pan type game for him. I think he's going to make those mistakes throughout the season.
Well, it doesn't help that Mike Evans was playing like an idiot on Sunday and not like a football player, whether it was hitting people or shoving helmets off of people or blocking people in the back. Right? He did not. Mike Evans needs to come and be the Mike Evans that we know he can be, the 90-yard touchdown Mike Evans. That's what we need from him. So Tom didn't play well. Evans didn't play well. And I'm not comfortable with Chris Godwin wearing 14. I don't know. It's just me. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Gronk didn't look like anything either, Well,
I'm mitigating Tom. I'm sorry, I am. He's mitigated. He's on the bench. I'm elevating Carson freaking Wentz. Jeez Louise. That's not a good thing on a team to do, but I might have to do that in my big money league with my my school friends.
Hopefully you got Cam Newton, because he looked the part.
Yes. I would definitely install him as your starting QB. He's going to get you the ground yards. He rushed for over 70 yards. I mean, come on. 2 touchdowns, 70 yards. First game.
I'll tell you another guy that you can waiver wire that I think is going to have a good season is Teddy Bridgewater. So if you have Tom Brady, you might want to, invest in, you don't have another quarterback, you might want to invest in somebody like Teddy Bridgewater, because I think he's going to have a good season.
I agree, because his defense is poo-poo. He's going to be behind all year. He's going to have to sling it.
And that was the thing, too, is that he was. Robbie Anderson had a really long touchdown. I think both DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, each had 5 receptions. So he's a nice little guy you can get off the wire right now, especially if you have Tom Brady. I think with what happened with Michael Thomas, I would pick up. I mean, I said this in the draft shows that if you have Drew Brees or Tom Brady, you should get a second quarterback, a decent one. So if you can, another person too is Philip Rivers. I was always kind of thinking, I think he's going to do what he always does. He's not going to win football games, but he will produce. I mean, he had 363 passing yards.
Yeah.
So I think he's another person, if you want to kind of flip flop, and hold on to two QBs and kind of, scheme for your matchup, that he's a good person you can probably get off the wire too. So
you want to hear a crazy stat from last year?
Sure.
Philip Rivers, played pretty well at times. When he wasn't in the last drive of the game, he didn't throw that many interceptions. Guess how many game-ending interceptions my boy Philip Rivers threw last year?
Game-ending interceptions?
Yeah, like they're driving because they're behind or they're trying to win the game, and he throws an interception. How many?
I'll guess. I have no idea. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess a lot because I watched last year. So this is just a guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess 8.
You're close. Every other game seemed like it. It was 6, but 8's a great guess, and we'll go with 8 between you. I'm winking, wink, wink. Yeah. Counting the one he just did yesterday, 7. So we'll split the difference. The guy, he plays well. And I've noticed this when it's a positive game script or when it's a kind of even game script. Not that on. When the game is on the line, he seems like he's a little like a dad, a little frazzled. That guy's got like 12 kids. You know what I mean? He just pushes it. He's just like, oh, and that Paris Campbell on some of those plays had 5 guys on him. And so
what? Great.
Yeah,
Paris Campbell looked great.
Well, he did look great. They'll get better. Philip Rivers, I like it, is the opposite. Remember how Blake Bortles? You wanted Blake Bortles at the end of a game because he'd have like 7 points the whole game, and then the fourth quarter would come, and the Blake Bortles show would start, and he would just throw like 4 touchdowns to Allen Robinson, and then they would somehow still get their butts kicked by 20 points, and then you're like, he's incredible. I want Blake Bortles on all my teams, and yeah, that is the opposite of Philip Rivers. He gets you the third quarter like, yeah, I got 29 points. And by the end of the fourth quarter, he got like 21 points. He throws a couple interceptions. He gets sacked a bunch. You're just like, damn. Are you serious, Philip Rivers? So, he's one of those guys, you get a prop bet for first half Philip Rivers. You take it. House. Second half, Philip Rivers, I don't want any part of him. So I will, if I'm struggling, I'm not. I've got a few QBs on my team. I'm okay.
Let me ask you, let's do a little bit more waiver wire, and we'll talk a little bit more NFL. And then also, we want to try and each give a sneaky daily fantasy up for the upcoming week, just a guess. Yeah. But so let's just finish waiver wire. What do you think of Peyton Barber?
Well, I don't know if the Washington football team is going to get to the goal line as many times as they did. A game script is one thing that you can't predict how the ball's going to get across the line or where you're going to be on the field and all that's going to work. I don't think he's a bad person to pick up. I don't think he's a plug and play. I think he might be somebody who you pick up and you see how it goes. Or if you have an injury, if you have Marlon Mack, maybe you kind of grab him as a flex option, but maybe look for a wide receiver who's got a little bit more upside to put in there. That's just me. I think he's a stash if you can grab him on the wire. Maybe 10, 15, $12 in that range. He might not be on your team, so maybe trade for him if you interest.
Here's his stat line.
Yeah.
17 carries.
29 yards.
29 yards.
and 99 touchdowns. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm in total agreement. I think if you worst trash, go ahead and get him. But what about Jerick McKinnon?
As somebody who dropped him in our league of record, and then watch my other running backs just kind of crap themselves. I would definitely go grab him as well. I think you should temper expectations though a little bit. The reason he didn't get as much run, or he got more run, is because Tevin Coleman didn't really play at all, and he played a few snaps. But his sickle cell, it needs good air, and there's been a lot of fires in California, and God, protect and pray for those people. But it just was a bad day for him. He wasn't going to be able to give 20, 30, 40 snaps. So we'll see what happens next week. When we move away from the fires, and so I don't know if it's going to be the same exact carry split share. I think Tevin Coleman have a presence. I didn't play Tevin Coleman. I don't think anyone did. People kind of watched the news and kept him out of their lineups, which is smart. But I'm not going to rush to get him unless I'm a Mostert truther. You are maybe though, but more interested in him because you have Mostert and nice fast touchdown run. They brought it up that he was the fastest in the last couple of years on that run. He was smoking, man. And once he got to that second level where the linebackers were, normally the safety can get to the point of impact, but he was so quick through that zone. He's so fast. I was thinking of you the whole time. I was like, I hope Master Mike is watching this. Mixed Master Mike just in there like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely jumped around the room. I have him on a bunch of teams. He, I think he got to 22.7 miles per hour according to Next Gen Stats, which is like the fastest of any ball carrier in the last 3 years. So, and it does seem to be exactly what I thought it'd be, that he's the first and second down back, and then they're going to have a third down back. And I think Tevin Coleman and Jerick McKinnon are going to battle throughout the year for that position. I think what we saw at Tevin Coleman, he's going to be good. I think it's dicey with Jerick McKinnon. You have Tevin Coleman, and so unless there's an injury, he'd be hard to start. But I think he is worth rostering again if you have the ability. What about Josh Adams?
Well.
Le'Veon Bell has injured his hamstring.
Yeah. He got a second half touchdown in that game, and I said, "Who is that? What? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't have any Jets on my team. I was not a Le'Veon Bell truther. I do think you go and try to grab him. I think he might be a sneaky pickup, especially if you're a Le'Veon Bell owner. I think you might have to go and overspend a little bit. I'm guessing probably 25% of your fab is probably going to take it if you want to be sure you're going to get him. But I would consult some more experts as well. Maybe go to your fab finders. I'm sure you guys have special apps and stuff to go and check the value of all those good things. But he's somebody who, if you're a Le'Veon Bell, you've got that guy as your RB2. You need to go get him. For now, you should probably already have him.
I'll tell you, Cash is 2 running backs that I think you gotta add if they're addable, or Naeem Hines and Malcolm Brown. Wide receiver, I really like Russell Gage.
Yes.
I think you gotta be willing to shell out some bucks for him too. The Atlanta offense is just. He had 9 catches.
Yeah.
He had 9 catches. I mean, they're gonna throw him the ball. So, I think if you, again, if you have somebody like Michael Thomas on your team, you're already dealing with an injury. I think it's worth spending some money to, potentially get someone that he's the most he's ever going to be is flex. But if he keeps having games like that, he's worth it. So
yeah. Well, you teased something earlier, and I wanted to give us a little transition to somebody I'm going to be kind of looking at in the DFS realm this week. And so are you ready to do a little transition?
Sure.
Love it, brother. Somebody I'm looking at this week after not a breakout week, but a good week. We kind of transitioned a little bit earlier talking about rookies. CeeDee Lamb looked like an NFL player just straight off the break. He looked like he caught the balls that were thrown to him. He took the tackles. He made the moves. I didn't like that penalty that was called on him. I thought that was kind of ticky-tack. That was not a block in the back or anything. That was dumb. That was a dumb call. So I felt like he was playing a really good, clean game. And he's somebody who I see because he's definitely breaking out. That offense is not humming yet. You could tell there's still some kinks to be worked out, but they targeted him. He did well when the targets he got. And Dak didn't look terrible. I think that they have to figure out how they're going to kind of play and what they're going to do and how they're going to get their targets around. Blake Jarwin also is down. He's down, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't want Jason Witten back, of course, but I think that's somebody who I have in my lineup. I'm going to make sure that he gets elevated, and then in DFS that he gets put on, probably in my flex, probably as a real upside play this week. That's somebody who I'm targeting. How about you? Any you're looking at as kind of a game breaker, maybe somebody that you want to make sure you've got in one of your lineups? And if you say Mark Andrews, you son of a... Go ahead.
So let me. I'll just about CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, the Blake Jarwin ACL tear. I think it's almost equivalent to Marlon Mack tearing his Achilles for CeeDee Lamb value. I think his value just shoots up because that offense is gonna throw the football, and we already saw he was getting used. So
Yeah.
I love that. So my pick, my pick is sort of similar. I think I was Henry Ruggs. I don't know what the injury is like, but I feel like both of those guys, you can ride them while their value's down.
Yeah.
So I think either I like both of those guys for DFS. You have to see what's going on with Ruggs. I'm sure there'll be some more information, but as of now, he's healthy. So
yeah,
I mean, he's healthy, and they're going to put him and use him. Then I think he's a nice sneaky DFS play too. Because on FanDuel he's like 5,100. I expect him to be right around that this week. So we'll know, I guess, tomorrow. But yeah, so yeah, man. Let's before we get into three tweets. Who's gonna? I want to know. Let's hear it right now. First episode of the show. Who's gonna be in the Super Bowl in 2021? Who are we gonna see?
I'm gonna say the. That's a good question. And you don't know injuries, but the Baltimore Ravens looked really good. And of course they're playing the Browns. Oh, terrible! But I like the Ravens or the Chiefs in the AFC. They look strong. I know that the Patriots are kind of back, but they struggled against a Miami team that it's Miami, but whatever. It's a division team. It's new. Can play pretty well. Not terrible. Did get in a fight at the end of the game. Someone grabbed his chain. I don't know if you saw that, but did you see that? That was an interesting little part of the Tampa Bay New England Baywatch. It was.
Yeah. Cam was so big. He's just a nasty big dude. I mean, he didn't look scared of whoever was doing it. I just saw a glimpse of it, like it flashed to something else. But
yeah, well, yeah. So
I remember that.
But those are mine. And then I'm not if the Packers are going to let Aaron Rodgers throw the football like he did all season last night. They look dangerous as an offense. Their defense wasn't that great. They give up a lot of points. And they got Dalvin Cook. You got Adam Thielen. They did sack Kirk Cousins, turn him over a little bit. That's okay. But yeah, they really good offensively. And but then really Russell Wilson, man. Jamal Adams, to me, makes the favorite, the Seattle Seahawks in my eyes, especially since the Cardinals already came in and kind of defeated the champs from last year. I think it's going to be a harder season for the 49ers. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And the Rams look good. They beat, the Cowboys. So Seattle is going to have to get through a gauntlet, but I like Seattle. I like them a lot.
Pick your two teams. You got to pick them.
Oh, man, you're putting the screws in. Okay, I'll say Seattle and Baltimore.
Seattle Chiefs for me.
Well, Seattle Chiefs. Okay. All right, we're close. All right. Yeah, it was between the Chiefs and Baltimore.
Pick four. If you get to pick four, so I like Baltimore is fine.
Yeah.
That would probably be I'll say I like the Saints
Yeah.
from the NFC. So if Michael Thomas, if they can survive while he heals, they look to as they always do. So
Yeah.
uh, that's my AFC NFC Sunday prediction.
I like it.
So
I like it. I like
one in our
it.
life as well. So,
Yeah. You
well,
want to
bro,
jump into
oh,
three
yeah.
tweets?
Yeah, let's do it. Three tweets.
Three tweets. Three tweets. So let me pull it
Yeah.
up. I sent you three tweets. The first
Okay.
one is between me, you, and Joe Rogan. That's not for the podcast. That's just an interesting thing I threw for you that I thought you would like between you, me, and the cast. Let me pull up my tweeters.
All right.
I got it on the tweeters.
Send you mine.
I got to go to my DMs, man. I got to jump into my DMs.
She said it's Joe Rogan.
I know that. I'm just saying that the Joe Rogan one is just for me and you.
Rex Chapman.
Yeah, Rex Chapman is my first one. Yeah. Hold on, I'm pulling myself up. Oh, don't start it yet.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm not. Oh, it's loading down in another one. Okay, keep pulling myself up again and again. I think I'm in dark mode. It's interesting how my stuff does that.
All right. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna switch to share.
All right, I'm sharing my screen now. Move away.
All right. You want to do yours on mute or whatever?
Yeah.
All right.
I will.
Ready?
Hold on. Let me put it back to the start. All right, you
Ready?
ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, mine didn't play. Stop yours for a second.
Yeah, I think Matthew Berry shared this one. It's a good one.
Hey,
I like it.
mine didn't play.
Is that what you would have done?
Hey,
Just walk in somebody's car?
mine didn't play. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Mine didn't play. Can we redo that one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on. All right, hold on. I'm going back. I'm gonna reload it. Okay, and all right, all right, all right. Go.
One boy just said, nope. Not today, Satan.
So in the video, a guy parks in the crosswalk, and then a guy walks through his car.
Yeah, he just walks right through his car.
He walks right through his car. He opens his door. He climbs through. It's a convertible, so it's an open. Walks over the man's lap, jumps out the other side. It's beautiful. The guy gets out of his car, looks around. He's got no shirt. He's a bro for sure.
Hey, you want me to bring you?
That was good. That was good. Okay, let me get out of here.
It's our boy Joey Molinaro.
All right, hold on. That's yours. I'm pulling up right now. All right, I love it. Okay, hold on. Don't start it. We're gonna have you do it. I got mine up, and you tell me when to push play, and it's ready to go.
Hey, yeah, just make sure yours is muted. All right,
Yeah,
ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This guy. This guy Johnson. You coming over for the game later? Oh, gotta work. On what? My tolerance. Hey, you want me to bring you one? Oh no, actually, I'm going for 2. Get out of here. Tell you what, I really like the offense this year. Oh yeah? What's your favorite formation? Shotgun. Hey, what's the over-under for Sunday night? Last time I checked, it was 6 Michelob Ultras. Hey, it's almost kickoff. I gotta go meet my buddy. Who's that? Jack Daniels. Hey, oh, hard stuff. Johnson out.
That was funny. I really enjoyed that. I think you win 3 tweets, man. Joey Molinaro, I'm a big fan of that guy. So, you win.
All right.
You win, bro.
Let's see. New third tweet now. Let me send it to
I
you.
was laughing a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Those guys are just so funny. Their facial expressions, they're my boys.
Yeah. All right. Do you get it?
Pulling it up right now. Looks like it's from Mr. Jason Moore.
Mr. Jason Moore with a great tweet. Really seems like the Texans need a bona fide number 1 wide receiver, but those are really hard to come by.
Jason Moore. That reminds me of the J.J. Zacharyson tweet about Leonard Fournette being the best landing spot, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, open position of running back, and it's so funny when it's right in front of your face.
I know.
And what I heard about it was that he didn't like that DeAndre Hopkins was, into babies' mamas and kind of lived a different lifestyle. I'll be honest with you, man. I meet a lot of people. I care for a lot of people. I serve a lot of people. One thing I don't really care about is those type of things. If you make people and you're trying to care for people, do your thing. Why would I moralize somebody, kick him out, and say that to him, just disrespect him as a man? I mean, he wanted to get out of there. That was clear. He felt like he was treated wrongly, and didn't want. Bob didn't want to pay him.
Dude, he gives his every touchdown to his blind mom. I mean, the guy is just.
I know.
I love him.
I
love him, and boy, was I right. He was one of the people I was doubting. They are using him exactly how we would use him.
Yeah.
Like a video game. That guy is a cheat code, and they are trying to get the ball to him as much as possible. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And, I think that it was a great first week. I did not win the Millie Maker. Next week, I will win the Millie Maker. But I did stack Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, thanks to my man, Bo. Bo knows. Bo McBigtime. We know Bo McBigtime. I also ran the gauntlet this past week, and I did 4 podcasts. It was quite the experience. 5 actually, if you count the one I did on Wednesday. So yeah, last week I did 6 podcasts last week, and overall betting I went 10-6, which is good if you're nimble betting. First night I went 6-0, 6 for 6. It was a great time for the Empire. Cooled a little bit yesterday. Went 4-6. The running back numbers, they did not get the receiving yards I thought they would get. There's some low hanging fruit that I thought could be captured in one screen pass. Didn't happen, but we live and we learn. And Ruggs got hurt, so a couple different things happened yesterday. But I'm still 10-6. That was good. Bo McBigtime and I also did 3 different podcasts that were non-sports gambling related completely. We did a DFS new show I'm doing every week against a DFS tout or a fantasy football analyst, somebody in the biz. This week I'm going to go up against the FF_intervention, my man Chase from the Coming In Hot. You might know him. He ate a hot sauce. It was so hot his face froze, and he was talking like this. It was awesome. I ate a lot of hot sauce too that night. It was crazy. Bo beat me last week. I'm 0-1, down $20 in that league. That show is called the DFS Money Shot. And then after that, me and Bo did the Millie Maker podcast, which I'm doing every week because we're chasing the Millie Maker. And then after that, Bo and I did our own podcast called Hard, Fast, Finish. And, that's our motto. And so, shout out to all those. Shout out to everybody. Mike, any shout outs you want to do? You want to plug, thefantasymillionaires.com. What do you want to plug, my man?
I have one podcast. This is it. So tune in next week. And, check out all our social media stuff. And there'll be some more stuff coming on the website. Check us out. Check us out on the Twitters. And we are on the Instagram. Not really
not
doing
much
over
much
there. We love the Twitters. So follow us on the Twitters and follow at the Ralph Macho and at Nimble W Numbers. So
heck yeah, and go football! I'm so glad it's back. It's real, man. It's real. Numbers drop tomorrow. It's back.
It's back, baby. All right, well, we'll see y'all next week. And yeah, man, football is here. So let's dial in and win that money.
Get your guys.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.